Welcome to another episode of It's a Long Road, the Rambo series podcast. This season we are covering Rambo 3. Thus, it is season 3, episode 7. And with me today is, well, it's official, Dom, until you quit. All right, until you quit or until I fire you. Oh, wow, that was quick. You're my co-host. I'm really excited to have you on.
I'm very excited, Ryan. Very excited to talk Rambo. Looking forward to getting to Rambo 4 and all the fun stuff that goes on in that movie.
Yeah, Rambo 4 will be an enjoyable listen. In fact, Rambo 5 as well. I mean, let's be honest.
Yes.
The Rambo series is fun, and you certainly add great insight, and I appreciate having you on as a co-host now. But anytime you can't make it, we'll get a guest come in, and I still think we'll get some guest co-hosts joining us. So we'll just get third person on the mic. So other creators, other podcast creators they'll join us, not just me. They'll join us. Yeah,
I'm very excited.
So, do you have any Sly news or any news that you come across?
No, I was just I was telling you right before we started recording. I liked on the last episode when you guys were talking about that auction. And it reminded me of, I wanted to bring up with you. Did you see a few months ago, whatever it was, that Demolition Man prop?
Oh, yes.
that popped up somewhere.
That is hilarious. Yes, I do remember that. Okay, I wonder if I can share a picture of that. Yeah, it's creepy. So it was.
Yeah.
I will give them credit because when that movie came out, of course, and I've seen it many times since, and they had the naked Sly underneath
right.
Yeah, I thought it was just him under some sort of glass.
Right, that's what you assume, yeah.
But it's not even Sly naked because we know that he likes to show his bum, right?
Of course.
Can you name all the movies where he's showing his bum? Minus the Party Kitty and Studs?
I can tell you Rocky 5, the beginning of Rocky 5, right?
Yes.
The Specialist. Mm-hmm. There's a shower scene in Specialist. Yep. Other than that, I'm drawing a blank. I'm lying to you, and I don't want to name all of them.
Well, come on. You got to know the other. Tango and Cash. Remember her?
Okay, yes.
Full on backside male nudity. Love it.
I love Tango and Cash.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago they were dabbling with doing a sequel. I remember hearing talk of that.
Yeah, there was a couple films that Sly should have done sequels on for sure. Tango and Cash would have been a fun one. I think they could have capitalized on that. It's too bad that Sly and Kurt Russell and a lot of these old action stars were kind of action stars back in their day. Meaning, how should I say this? Because there's a lot of smart writers and I think a lot of movie writing today, original writers and directors have some really keen direction styles and action sequences. Look at the John Wick movies, for example.
Right.
Here's a guy now. He's using, if you can believe it, Keanu Reeves is already 58.
Yes.
It's crazy. So, but what I'm getting at is, I forget the director's name, the director-writer of John Wick. I think he's done all the films.
Yes.
Okay, so here's a guy who's got this brilliant mind of action. Mm-hmm. And Keanu Reeves is not the best actor. Mm-hmm. He's not. I mean, he's just not. He's a nice guy. I'm going to kill them all. He's not the best actor, and he's not the strongest guy in the world, or all that kind of stuff. But It would have been interesting to see Prime Sly, Prime Arnold in today's type of writer directors with the kind of stuff they can do. Yeah,
I could. Right. Yeah, no, that's true because they didn't really get to do. It's almost like, I don't want to say elevated action, but it definitely is. It's a little more up there.
It's smart and clever and well done. And look, we love these old style non-CGI action movies. Don't get me wrong, but there's a selfish part of me that would have been interested in seeing what this could have been like with Prime Sly, Prime Arnold, with today's technology and today's writer-directors, because a lot of them are very clever, very smart writers, yeah. Before we get into more movie talk and Rambo 3 discussion, Dom, I have some old emails here from listeners that I don't know if I got to all of them, because there's one that goes back to August. I do apologize. If I've read it, it's very quick. I'll just read it again, so I do apologize to anyone that's already heard it. But I think the next 3 I haven't read. So here we go. This is from Vincent. He said, I just wanted to say I've really enjoyed finding your podcast. I'm now 40 and have loved Rambo and Stallone for as long as I can remember. I remember my mom taking me to see Rambo 3, Rocky 4, and 5, Lock Up, Tango and Cash, Over the Top, all on the big screen. There's a good mom for you, eh? That's a good mom. It's great to hear other fans of Stallone. Now, the question was asked by Vincent, and maybe I'll ask you this as well. Of course, Dom, have you checked out Samaritan yet? Well, we know you have. So Dom but you're part of the Last of the Action Heroes podcast network because you have a podcast called Movie Thoughts, and I asked you if you would be okay if I re-uploaded episodes that were of the action nature. Not all of your reviews are action films, but the ones that do fall into the action genre, you have been very kind to say, yeah, go ahead, put it on the network. So you are a member of the network. It's just that your Movie Thoughts podcast doesn't always do action films. So people check out Dom's podcast feed called Movie Thoughts. There's movies there that aren't part of the action sequences. So I almost wanted to put like some of your horror films ones on there because it's so close.
Right. They're definitely borderline same genre, right? Those, especially those 80s horror and the 80s action.
Because what is an action film?
Watching
blood, guts.
Yeah, exactly. Commando. Commando. There's like just as many kills in Commando that probably use the same prosthetics as a Friday the 13th, right?
I guess the difference is that within the action genre, it's usually the good guy is the guy you're kind of rooting for. So when he does the kills, you're like, oh, those are good kills. But when horror films, it's the same type of action sequences. Exactly. Traps are set, people are beheaded or whatever it is, but it's the bad guy doing it.
Yeah, you're just wanting him to kill everybody else, basically.
I just got a message here from Louise saying that the StreamYard chat isn't working. StreamYard chat isn't working. How can that be? Well, Louise, just chat. It's okay, brother. Try keep chatting in the StreamYard. I'm not sure why it's not working. That is weird. I unfortunately I can't fix it on the fly because I wouldn't even know how to do that. I've never had it not work before. Maybe just try refreshing. But if not, I can see your chats here if you want to do it here as well. Okay. I apologize. So yes, you have seen Samaritan. Of course, I have too, because both of our reviews are now on the Last of the Action Heroes podcast network. So check out Dom's review of Samaritan. It was just put on the network. It's really cool. Very well done.
Thank you.
So Vincent goes on to say, it's pretty good. I'm a fellow Stallone fan and now a fan of yours. This email is over, Johnny. So there you go. That's that's perfect. Thanks, Vincent. Hopefully he's still listening because he said that a while back.
He died 20 years ago.
He's dead. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, Vincent. We appreciate your support. When we got it, we appreciate your support. This is an email from Julian. He goes, hey, guys, I'm a new listener, and I just wanted to say that I'm so glad I found the podcast. The Rambo franchise is one of my all-time favorite movie franchises. Well, yeah, I mean, come on. As far as franchises go, this is a fun franchise. Think about how many franchises there are. The Rambo franchise, beat for beat, really is a fun franchise.
Oh, yeah. It's perfect.
it's just fun times, right? So thanks, Julian, and keep listening, we hope. Again, if anyone wants to send me an email, the email is in the show notes, but it's RamboSeriesPodcast@gmail.com. That's RamboSeriesPodcast@gmail.com. Or comment on our YouTube channel as well. We can read those. This is from Peter from Australia. He says he's just dropping an email to let us know that he loves our podcast. He appreciates the efforts we do and delivering new commentary on various aspects of Stallone's careers and movies. So thank you, Peter. Oh, he's talking about the hair. Okay, he that's right. Yeah, Dom, how do you feel about how do you feel about hair loss?
Just envy. When I watch Rambo 3, I sweat. I gotta pause it, go in the bathroom, stare at myself in the mirror, kind of like he does in Rocky 4, and just cry.
So Italians do go bald because you're Italian, right?
Yes, fact. I'm a proven statistic on that one.
So how does Sly's hair grow thicker as time goes on? Do you have any theories?
Well, I'm at the point. I think we dabbled in this the last episode I talked to you, but this definitely something being sewn to his head. I think before he leaves the house at this point.
There is legit hair procedures where they will take that hair one bit at a time and sewing. That's insane.
I could see him being the kind of guy that his stylist or whoever, he don't even leave the house until that's looking right. They're probably there with him getting it ready before he even steps foot outside.
So if you had the money and you're you're a very handsome bald man, don't get me wrong.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You rock it. You don't hide it.
You got to just embrace it. You got to embrace it.
Would you do the procedure? So you had unlimited money.
If I had unlimited money, my hairline would start right over my eyebrows. That's where it would be. And I would just have a pompadour going all the way back.
No shame on Sly then. He's just doing what you would do too.
100%. Living the dream.
Fair enough. All right. But we can still tease a little bit. So Peter goes on to say, I found the digressive discussion on Stallone's receding hairline quite amusing and intriguing to listen to in the most recent Rambo 3 podcast. Hey, come on, digressive discussion, Peter. There is nothing we discuss that's digressive. It's all progressive. It all pushes the story and the narrative forward in our podcast. He goes on to say that my personal observation is that Stallone was beginning to recede way back in Rocky 3, late 81, due possibly to his drastic malnourished diet of the one slice of burnt toast, tuna cans, and 20 espressos per day. So he thinks he began the plugins around 2000, most visible in Get Carter. And then, of course, by Escape Plan 3 and Rambo Last Blood, he has a ridiculous hairline that clearly looks fake. How dare you, Peter? Ridiculous. It's the most beautiful natural hairline I've ever seen.
There was a video recently I saw. It was like on TikTok, or it was Stallone at his house, and it was candid, and I think Frank was filming it. You saw an angle that you never see of it, and it's obviously something. Obviously something is going on with that hair.
It's crazy. It's insane. I feel bad for the StreamYard people can't chat, and I don't know why it's not chatting. I don't know why they can't chat. Keep trying, guys. Keep trying. Maybe refresh the page, come back in and out, and try the chat. I don't know, guys. We'll keep trying. Let us know if you're in the StreamYard chat. Let us know if it works or not, and we'll keep plugging through though. So
absolutely.
Maybe next episode, maybe it'll be fixed. But at the very least, look how clear we look, though. This is why we do StreamYard now. Look how clear Dom looks. We get to see his handsome face. And
you can see your reflection in my head.
We're going to put the movie on your head when we get to the movie.
Sure.
All right, last email here that we're all caught up officially. So this is from, I apologize for the pronunciation of this name. Obviously, it's not I think he says where he's from. Swedish. It's a Swedish name. So it's Hasse. So what do you think? Hasse? Yeah.
And when I go with the guys and we rendezvous.
Yeah, I should just read off the dummy cards. I know. All right. He goes, hi, Ryan. Okay, so he's talking about, you've heard all of my episodes, I think, haven't you, Dom?
Pretty much.
Where we talked about the Rambo character by David Morrell. He did Rambo Bad, made him a virgin.
Oh, wait. No, I don't think I heard that, actually.
Yeah. So that's brought up, I don't know when it was. It was season 1 or 2. But David Morrell in the books, I think it was season 2, because in Rambo First Blood Part 2, in the novelization that David Morrell wrote based on the screenplay, right? Because he expanded the character of Rambo, basically saying that Rambo had a girlfriend before he went to the Vietnam War.
Okay.
And he did not have coitus with her. He comes back from the Vietnam War to have coitus with her, but she's married. The joke being that David did Rambo bad by making him a virgin. But then people were arguing with me that there's deleted scenes in First Blood that showed him at a whorehouse.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I gotta delve into those.
Even in the deleted scenes, I don't think it necessarily shows that he was with them per se. You know, there was no sex scene filmed. It was just
right.
Yeah. So of course, that's the canon. What's canon? David Morrell's characterization. He's the author, creator, or the film, right?
Right.
And then it's a deleted scene. Again, what's your opinion on deleted scenes? Are they canon or are they not canon?
I don't think they're canon. As much as sometimes I'd like for them to be canon, if they're not in the movie. It's a tricky thing sometimes.
It is. I guess it depends on why it's deleted. Is it deleted for time, or is it deleted because the storyline doesn't work? Do you remember in Rocky Balboa, we discussed, I don't know if you saw the episode, but we discussed the deleted scenes of Rocky Balboa, the 6th Rocky film, and that Rocky's talking to Steps while they're unloading the food van.
Okay.
And he mentions to Steps that his father was in jail.
Oh, he does.
He called it the Arches, which we had to Google, and the Arches was referring to the jail in Philadelphia. It was referred to as the Arches.
Oh, okay.
So there was a subtle nod that the reason why we don't hear or we don't know about Rocky's father figure, or why he's such a father figure to people, was because he didn't have one.
Interesting.
Yeah. Is that canon or not? All right. This has to do with the virginity. Okay, here we go. The title of this email is Virgin or Not. So now Hasse owns the novelization of Rambo First Blood by David Morrell, and he's had the book since the 80s. Okay. And when he started listening to the podcast, he started reading the book again. And the subject has been brought up a lot of times, like we just did now. So he discovered that in chapter 3 called The Temple, which I remember, The Temple, it says that he lost his virginity at the age of 21. Then he joined the army, and she got married. So maybe I misheard it. Now I know why. He actually talks about this. Because I mentioned I heard the audiobook. So he mentions this. So he got the audiobook that I heard, and they did cut that line out. There you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was the version cut.
Maybe, yeah, it was an abridged version. Yeah, yeah, interesting. So in the audiobook, it's cut out, and he asks the questions: did David change his mind? Because he has the Swedish translation of the book, and he says, "I don't want to spend $5 to buy the English version to prove my point." He just wanted to make the point that, and he showed the Swedish version, which I don't speak, but I believe him. He circled where it said that Rambo had coitus before he went into the military, but the audiobook is opposite.
Wow. I never thought about it, you know? Did go into the war young, so it's possible.
So, yeah, Rambo, not a virgin. All right. All right. Well, that's it for the emails. Again, if you want to send us an email, we'll discuss your points or give you the shout outs you so rightly deserve. We also want to thank the new people that joined my Patreon. His name is Kilo. I asked him if he was Canadian. He didn't respond. Maybe he thinks I'm creeping on him. I apologize. Because I think his name is Kilometer or something, like his username or whatever. So thanks, Kilo, for joining Patreon. And what do you get on Patreon? Well, after we go live, the raw uncut videos will be available on Patreon. So you get early releases. So if you missed the live stream we're doing right now, you'll get to watch the early releases before I edit. And we edit out all the ums and ahs and all the awkward pauses that me and Dom might have. And the iTunes version is nice and crisp. So if we're like looking at each other, like, I don't know what to say next, that's all cut out. And on the iTunes version, it makes a sound that we know what we're talking about. Okay. Are you ready to rock and roll and get more into...
I'm ready. Just watched him blow the gunpowder through his stomach, right?
What are your thoughts on that scene? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that scene.
I mean, that's fantastic. I always love when... Even in First Blood, when he's doing whatever the hell he's doing, he's sewing himself up. I just love. Right. I love when Rambo's got to do that self maintenance.
If you haven't listened to episode 6, I recommend highly. Even if you listen to it, go to the YouTube channel. It's a long road. The Rambo Series podcast is on YouTube. I want to thank everyone that's joined the YouTube channel. We're actually 319 subscribers on there, so I'm really happy with the growth. Yeah, it's crazy. Join the YouTube channel because you get to see some of the visuals that people can bring in. And so my last guest co-host was Matthew Chernoff, and he brought in some amazing photos of the auction. I think that really was the highlight of the episode. He talked about the auction, the prices. What do you think of those prices?
Oh, man. To imagine having money like to spend on the Sylvester Stallone torso. I mean, I wish. My brother, I was with the Demolition Man thing. My brother actually called up whatever store that was. I forgot what country it was, but he was trying to get in touch with somebody just to find out what they would have charged for that, you know?
Right.
I would have hang that from the ceiling or something. I don't know.
What item would you have bought if you had unlimited money and you had to buy one item?
I mean, it'd probably be something from Rocky. It would be cool to have like the trunks or the gloves, either his or even like Apollo's. I would think that would be cool.
No. Yeah.
The headband's cool though, too. The headband was pretty cool. You know, I'd have to put that on at some point though.
I was fascinated by the tarp being sold for what it was. That thing was literally garbage. It was garbage.
That's crazy. Yeah. I heard you say that it was like, so somebody left that. Yeah, and then they discovered it while they were filming, and they just used it. That's nuts.
It was just left on the ground. Like I think it was next to the truck. That truck that was in, he's looking at the truck for supplies. It was in that area. That truck was also just there. It was just there. They didn't put it there. It was just in the forest.
That's great.
So I would love to know the backstory of whose truck was that, who put it there. Because somebody left the truck in the forest, and then years later, it's in a First Blood film.
Well, that's it. Do you think about I wonder if they ever saw it in the movie, if they ever realized it was their truck, Yeah.
Hey, I want some royalty on that truck. Yeah. I don't know what I would have bought. I think definitely the Rambo knife is pretty high end. Why do you think Sly sold the stuff?
What year was that around?
A couple of years ago. That's it. Like it was 2021. It was just very recent. Right. I remember when it was in the news that it happened, and so he wasn't going through a divorce, or he almost did, as we know recently. So it wasn't. It's about money, but why would?
Right. I was almost wondering if maybe he was funding a project. There was really nothing going on at that time that he would be funding himself anyway.
He wouldn't need that kind of money to fund the project because he's got his own money. Like he has money. The guy's worth 500, 400 million, whatever it is. Like,
maybe he's just got so much of it. He's probably got so much memorabilia. I've seen
some legit stuff he got rid of, though, the knife and things.
Yeah, I saw Frank on a television special once, and he was showing off all his memorabilia, and he had so much, so many robes and trunks from Rocky and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe there's just an endless amount that they have that he's just like, all right, I want to get rid of some of it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess we'll never know. Sly doesn't watch the show.
We got to try getting him on the podcast.
It's funny when I first started doing like the Rocky podcast. We're like, oh, you got to get him. Like, come on,
right? He's untouchable.
Sure. People that he's even friends with, he hasn't gone on their podcast yet. So
right.
Rambo's he's healed himself up, and there's some great sequences coming up here, Don.
Oh God.
Yeah. You ready? I'm going to mute just for the sake of, so we can talk over the action like I did on the last episode with Matthew, because there's a lot of action sequences, very little dialogue. So we'll just play the sequence, talk about it and what's happening. Rambo's caused some chaos. He still hasn't gotten Troutman out. Yes, Troutman's not out. Rambo's been injured. It's the next day now. It's daylight. And now literally the whole Russian army is hunting Rambo.
Right. Hunting this one man yet again.
So I just find it hilarious. Got these two helicopters pull out of the space, but these are just great. Like, what do you think of the cinematography of this movie and the shots of this film?
It's a great shot. It's a great shot. The practical effects. It's real helicopters being flown.
Yeah.
It's not CGI. It's beautiful.
So I love these action sequences of the soldiers running. This just does not make sense. It's supposed to show the sense of urgency that the military has to find this one man. But to run in this heat, they're covered
on foot.
Why are they running?
Maybe they're checking holes. They know he's prone to go into holes and sewers and stuff like that. I don't know.
And their heads are covered, I guess, for the sun, maybe.
Right.
Covered from the sun. They're covered head to toe in this very hot gear, and they're running up these hills. Like, there's just no reason to run.
Right, because at this point he's been gone for several hours, right, from the last time they saw him.
I will just say throughout, and we'll point it out, but there's some really just nice helicopter. I just love this big Russian helicopter.
Big monster of a helicopter.
And during this whole sequence, they're all talking Russian, which I like. I don't know if it's real Russian. We find out later, Rocky IV Russian's not very good Russian. I don't know if it's the same for Rambo III. It sounds like Russian. But what I kind of like is, so as the Russian soldiers are looking for Rambo, they're all talking Russian. But maybe it's cold. I don't know, because these guys are wearing snow hats. Like, these are heavy wool hats. Right.
There's a lot of mixed wardrobe going on. Are they trying to get away from the sun, or is it cold? Like you said, strange.
Yeah, these guys are wearing. See, these are the sand type hats. These are shading from the sun. The other ones were for the cold, and the other ones had like rain jacket hoods on.
They just gave the extras, like, just pick whatever prop out of a box you want to wear,
Or maybe they're all different types of forces. They're all different types.
Right. Some Star Wars
the guys
stuff,
that go
like
underground,
sand troopers, snow troopers, all that.
Yeah, they got the Russian sand troopers and the guys that go underground. What I love is this helicopter. So what's happened here, folks? Of course, we have the Russian soldiers going underground, above ground. Some are running, some are walking. They're all grouped together, searching for Rambo. And then the main Russian leader dude, he's in the helicopter flying around doing the bird's eye view. And he's also talking to each group like a coach on a football team. He's telling each position where to go and how to play, right? Look how low the copter's flying to the ground.
Yeah.
Let me just go back a little bit, because so Rambo is now climbing the side of a cliff. I think he's training for he's training for cliffhanger. Yeah. But listen to the music cue when you see his hand come over the rock. The classic Rambo thing. Listen. You hear that? Look at this.
He had to, Stallone had to get the idea for cliffhanger rewatching his own movies, being like, maybe I should just do this for a whole movie.
I could do a whole movie with me on a rock.
I could hang there,
Cliffhanger was in 93. Yeah, Cliffhanger was only 5 years after this.
Right. Yet again, another one where they talked about doing a sequel to Cliffhanger. I remember hearing that for years. What's
happened here, folks, is all the Russian army, the whole Russian army from the base, is looking for Rambo in the rocks and crevices and all this area. But guess where Rambo's going? Guess where he's going? They would never have imagined. Guess where he's going, folks? He's going back to the Hornet's Nest.
He's going back to the action. He's going to get Troutman.
And he's not going through the front door. He's going through. They built their base on a cliff. Did you notice that? They built their base on a cliff. So the only way in, folks, is via over the bridge, whatever, to the base. Or if you're crazy enough, climbing the cliff.
Little did they know he's crazy enough.
But look at how every step and every time he pulls up, it's just excruciating energy. And what do you think of this shot here?
That's great. That's like the poster for Cliffhanger right there. That shot.
Rambo 3 Cliffhanger. Now, Obviously, there's no CGI, and so back in the day, they had to use what I don't know how to pronounce it. It's MATTE.
Oh, like the matte paintings, right?
Matte. This is just matte. Okay, so
I
think that's what we have here. I think we have a bit of that here. It's pretty good. Now, of course, that is Sly on the rock face, but I'm just trying to figure out how they got that shot.
Yeah, I wonder how low he is off the actual ground. There we go. That's more a little bit more. You could see it there.
That's a matte painting right there. This is obviously a studio rock face. They got the camera right above him.
Right.
He's only 2 feet in the air. So that definitely is a matte. That's the matte painting right there under him on that angle. Interspersed here with Rambo climbing. I was about to say Rocky because he's climbing the rocks. Rambo climbing the rocks, climbing the rock face. We have Troutman getting ready to be tortured. So we get the sense of time is running. Time is short.
We got to climb this mountain.
And there's a sequence coming up where Rambo almost gets like a sixth sense that Troutman really is in trouble. He's got to up his game up a little bit. He's got this spiritual connection to Troutman. So here we go. What about this shot here?
Another perfect shot.
See, look how this part here on the right is very clear where Stallone is hanging.
Right. And then towards the left, you see it.
It looks a little.
That's definitely, like you said, the matte painting.
Poor Troutman gets the hanging torture thing again. It's
always what they go to. And Lethal Weapon. It's just everybody's hanging the same way.
That's right. The Lethal Weapon did that. So now the audience sees where Rambo has, we don't know just yet as a first-time viewer what Rambo's climbing to. He's climbing to the base. It's windy up high. He's gone to the base. Troutman's getting his butt kicked as he's being tortured. Time is running short. And the Russian army is way off course.
Aimlessly walking all over the place.
They really are. They're all like bunched together, Like that is not the way to search for things.
I love this shot of his eyes too. Just like popping up like a gopher or something.
Okay, so he sees the one, of course, the classic soldier. I don't blame him. He's having a smoke break. He knows that Rambo's nowhere nearby. He thinks Rambo's gone too. He's just chilling. And Rambo come over. Watch what the guard does. So you have this man, intruder, coming over the bridge. Okay, Dom, you're in this situation. You're on guard.
I'm the guard.
You've got Rambo coming
if that's running at me, I'm running full speed the other way.
Sure, that's one option. That is definitely an option. Just run the opposite direction. However, look what this guy does. Watch what he does. This is his defensive maneuver. He grabs...
He's mere inches from you. And you think you're going to turn that gun around in time to shoot him?
So the 50 cal is pointed way off into the distance.
Right.
Rambo's literally a microsecond away from you. I'd recommend pulling your sidearm.
Something.
Or a knife or run. But instead he's going to grab the 50 cal and try to shoot Rambo. How is he going to do that? He's
at close range too.
Yeah, hey Rambo, do you mind going in front of this, please, as I turn it around? I need to shoot you. Absolutely ridiculous. Rambo agrees, dude. Bad move because this is how Rambo takes him out. I love it.
You chose poorly. Love it.
Breaks his neck.
God.
The classic neck break. I always find like it's a dangerous stunt, because I know it's sound effects that we're hearing with the neck breaking, but I always get nervous.
Grabbing, you do see his head in that awkward position. So
yeah.
Do you trust Sylvester Stallone? Grabbing you like that? I don't know if you're a stunt man.
I might trust Sly more than Seagal. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Seagal might eat you nowadays. Like bite you off.
What a character! Love him. Love him. Now we see this base is really there's a hole. There's just a big hole in the side. Like so, he literally walks 3 feet and just jumps into a hole that leads right into the base. Is this how the guys come and go from the base and just jump through holes like an anthill?
I guess so. Little escape route they have. Boom. There we go. Right in there.
Just right in the base. Just, boop, right in the base. I guess it doesn't rain very much here, but when it does, the base must flood.
Flooding, yeah, the drowning down there.
This sequence is what I kind of missed from Rambo 5 and Rambo 4. We talked about this, and I've talked about it many times, and I don't mean to keep saying it, but this mission of Rambo coming in, doing the stealth, like we're, of course, we're poking fun at it. It's actually quite fun, though. He's breaking necks, stealth kills in the shadows, bouncing around.
Creeping around, right.
We didn't get that in Rambo 4. Like,
no.
This Rambo 3 is
just a better get him blasting. Just blasting in Rambo 4.
We all love the violence. We get it. We love the violence in Rambo 4, but they kind of fell short with the stealth and the stuff that Rambo's very good at. And it's actually peak Rambo 3 in many ways is peak Rambo showcasing peak Rambo on film.
I could see that. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, it might not be the best film, or maybe people don't like it the best, but showcasing his abilities.
Right. For the most part, I like 4, but I agree that it's honestly, it's a massacre. Everything that goes on screen, it's not, like you're saying, you're missing out on that creeping around. You're missing out on all that stuff. He's just killing everybody.
I love the sequence here. So we got Trautman. He's hanging. We have the guy from, remember the very beginning of the film, the guy that basically ratted Rambo out at the store?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's here to watch the torture of Trautman. I love how he's hanging around. Why is he here hanging? Like, I want to see this. Sure.
He did somebody a favor. We got another scene of this movie, right?
So he's here to watch the torture. And then we have this flamethrower, and this dude with the flamethrower, I think he turns it on and off about 6 or 7 times just to like
intimidation.
He's like, I'm going to burn you. I'm going to burn you.
That's what I love about all these action movies, even whether it's like James Bond or something. They just constantly are threatening them with the thing they could kill them with right at that moment.
Oh, here's that sequence I'm talking about right here. Sorry. This is very James Bond-esque. I agree. So Rambo hears, I guess, or senses. This is the sensing I'm getting at.
Yes.
The Russians have gone out. How long have they been searching for Rambo? An hour?
Right.
3? Mm-hmm. They're done. No, can't find him.
I guess he's gone.
Because they're packing up. They're packing up and coming back to the base.
Right.
That's what we're led to believe here. So now Rambo hears like, ooh, I hear the military trucks coming. He realizes now time is running short. I'm in the hornet's nest. The wasps are coming back. Here they are all coming back. He's like, who?
That's like your parents coming home when you didn't know they were coming home yet.
So now he's looking down into the torture chamber. Rambo's seeing the same flamethrower going off. Oh, Trautman's in trouble.
On and off, on and off.
Now we don't see what happens here. Now he takes off his weapon. You saw that he unstrapped something over his shoulder. He's looking. He's looking through the gate. We'll keep that in mind because now we have a shot, of course, of the Russian leader and his helicopter coming back to base. Everyone's coming back. Another shot of
again for the 10th time, him just blowing the fire around him. Flame show before he burns.
yeah, like a busking. Like Trautman's going to throw him a couple bucks. Hey, that's good flame work, buddy. This creepy store guy, I don't know what to call him, the betrayer, the Pakistani betrayer. He's like in the corner cuckolding this whole torture. He's just like, yeah, I like this. I live for this stuff. He just can't wait. Now, okay. I can't stress enough, guys. You have to come to the YouTube channel to see what we're seeing here. But the guy with the flamethrower yells in pain. Look at that face there. Obviously, he's been stabbed from behind. What did Rambo do? Like, how did he get down?
There's definitely like a cut scene here.
Yeah, because he's looking down the grate. Mm-hmm. So he recognizes he has to get down somehow. Fair enough. But why did they show him taking off whatever he took off? Like that strap?
Right. But what was it? A gun on his back or ammo?
No, it's a weird cut because they showcase that looks like he's taking something off of his body to be more stealthy or silent. Sure. Anyways, he comes down here, stabs flamethrower guy behind, cuts Trautman out. I love that. He stabs the guy with the knife, cuts Trautman down with the cord hanging Trautman up. But I love how Rambo knew exactly where to cut the rope. Like he knew exactly the rope was there.
I love Stallone's face as he cuts it too. It's just the anger and aggression.
Yeah. Now this is a cool little scene here. So let me just play it through because he does a little flip with his knife. Mm-hmm. That's actually legit. But watch the flip he does with his knife there. Now watch the flip he does with the knife after he cuts. Watch this. Look at that.
Ah, look at that. He trained for hours.
So
practicing flipping that knife.
He flips the knife around his hand. He throws it at the shopkeeper guy, but he misses. He misses the little weasel. How did Rambo miss that? He doesn't.
Curious, right? It's like all the training. You think he would have got him right in the head.
So here's the question: was it a purposeful miss?
Maybe it was. Maybe it was like get the hell out of here, intimidate. He's maybe not threatened by that guy. That's why. But
then why would he get rid of his weapon in the process? Because he could have broken that guy like a twig. This guy has no chance against Rambo hand to hand.
Not even worth it.
So he runs away. Now, this is a cool little sequence here because Rambo steps on the flamethrower with his feet, blows some flame at the other guy that was there. Not the guy holding the flamethrower, but another Russian, whatever, guy chilling. But the guy still is able to grab a knife. And then Rambo grabs some sort of stick. And so we get a little callback to the stick fight at the beginning of the film. That the skills are coming. Right. The skills are coming into play here, folks.
That's what he's been training for. Got a little Troutman kicking ass too.
Is this the first kill of Troutman that we've seen on screen?
I think so, right? Has he done anything else?
Remember when he got captured with that at the beginning of this film?
Oh, in the beginning
mission.
Right.
He did fire his weapon. I just don't remember if we saw him get anybody. I just don't remember.
I don't remember. His desperation firing.
It was desperation firing for sure. But here he chokes Buddy out that's already on the ground. So who's he choking out here, by the way? Is he choking out the guy that Rambo stabbed and finishing him off?
Maybe.
Is that what
he's running up to whoever? He just wants to look like he's doing something. Oh, I got you, John. I got you, Johnny boy.
I got you. You remember the guy you stabbed 2 seconds ago? Well, I'm strangling him now for you.
Poking him in the eyes as he's on the floor.
I love it. No,
clothesline. Okay. Amazing. WWF clothesline right there.
Let's watch that. I got to go back, folks. So, yeah, Troutman is definitely choking out the guy that Rambo stabbed.
Okay, so it is that guy.
Yeah, and another soldier is running in here, and that's really cool. Another soldier is running in, and I like how Rambo took the time to hide behind the wall. Why is he behind the wall?
He's been fiending to clothesline somebody, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to do it.
Breaks guy's neck, yeah.
That guy's head just detached from his body after he got hit with that arm.
There's no way that if I'm running into an arm like that, this was during the heyday, a little bit of wrestling.
Right.
A clothesline, it's going to be irritating. It's going to be like a little bit, oh, come on, man. What? Like,
clotheslining me? That's that guy's thinking right now. Did he just clothesline me?
But he sold it. He sold the move. Mm-hmm. You know, the crowd loved it. But yeah, there's no way that clothesline is going to level you like that. Come on, really?
Maybe Stallone's arm, though. Maybe Stallone in this physical peak, he might knock somebody's head off.
I love how he's out cold. Like the clothesline put him out cold.
Right, he's dead.
He doesn't even stab him. He leaves him there. So that guy got off easy.
He got the best of it. Definitely, because that other guy got his head ripped off right before he went in the cave, right? The guy that tried to pull the gun on him.
If you're ever fighting Rambo, just let him clothesline you and pretend you're out.
If you see him hiding behind the wall, just go along with it. Be like, I'm going to just let this guy do it.
Rambo will only kill if he kind of has to. Whereas Troutman, he broke that guy's neck that got stabbed. He like double made sure that this guy was like incapacitated.
Leave their eyes, Troutman.
I'm surprised Troutman to say, "Hey, Rambo, we haven't finished this guy off yet. Do you want to?"
Imagine he would have ran up to the guy that he clotheslined and started stabbing him.
Troutman just comes in for the cut kill.
Finish him.
That's hilarious. Troutman's more of a sadist than we ever met. All right, so Boss Man, the Russian man, is headed back. Camp is about to land. Now, Rambo's not leaving these people behind. He's like, he recognizes, to his credit, he's like, I'm not coming back. I've got my buddy. However, he, in good conscience, can't leave these poor civilians behind bars. So whether they die during the escape or not, they're coming out.
Exactly. He's been a prisoner himself. He's not leaving anybody behind.
No. Boss Man is landing. Rambo sees that Boss Man's landing. Now, why does Rambo know that I can't remember. I know as I analyze this movie, has he seen Rambo? Has Rambo seen Boss Man? Does he know what he looks like?
Did he though? Because I feel like every time the boss is talking, they're not, obviously they're not in the same place. He's just talking.
Have they met eye to eye yet? Have they met eye to eye yet? Or
I can't remember, honestly.
But this is weird because as the helicopter's landing, it's odd that Rambo. This is what I meant about that. He senses the force, like,
right?
Oh, that's the Boss Man.
He feels him.
Now, granted, he's also eyeing the helicopter in general, but they both kind of sense each other throughout this film.
Mm-hmm.
The prisoners have got weapons now themselves, so they're armed. Rambo's watching the helicopter land. Listen to this question that Troutman asks. I love this.
This is the best. I know what you're going to say.
The helicopter's about to land. Here we go.
Can you fly that thing? Let's find out.
Let's find out. This is not going to end well. Like,
I couldn't get a job parking cars.
But how did neither one of them know how to fly the helicopter, though?
Well, he flew one in part 2.
Right.
I don't know how to fly that model.
I don't know. Is it a manual or something?
Do I have my co-pilot like I had in part 2? Different model, fair enough. Like he hasn't flown a Russian one. No, but the one that he flew in part 2 was a Russian one as well. Of course, it wasn't an American.
Right,
was
right. It wasn't American, I don't think.
Yeah, because he apprehended that from the Russians as well.
They get heavy-handed with the humor in these next couple of like scenes of dialogue. You know, they're really trying to amp up the Rambo humor.
So they're running to the next zone here of safety. Spawn the helicopter, make sure it gets empty. So it's parking, it's landing. Rambo's, making sure it gets emptied out. I think that's the first time he's seen the leader.
They actually see each other, right? But now the leader didn't see him.
No, look how handsome he is there. He's just like, he's like. You remember that scene just a few minutes ago when I was climbing the mountain and I was really tired and dirty, but I'm okay now.
Got a glow. He's just got a glow about him too.
But now he's just running. He's good to go. That adrenaline that Rambo has is amazing. So he's looking at the leader. Yeah. So he's making a mental note, like somehow, some way,
I'm killing this motherfucker.
So here comes all the woman. Now, what's funny is as you watch the citizens, these especially the woman, they don't look like the same woman that were there before,
right?
Because there's one lady, her hair was really curly, and remember they were wearing that covering over their heads too.
Right.
Maybe they got manhandled in between scenes.
Right. Maybe those other ones got shot to death. Who knows?
That's true. Actually, very true. Because I don't see. There's one woman there wearing a headdress, but they look like two different actresses. All right, so they go into the helicopter. They're good to go. The Russian leader sees, oh boy. I love how he tries to slam the door, but it doesn't slam. It just flies back.
Somebody's body was probably there that he tried to slam the door on.
Remember when I told you that I wasn't sure? It looks like I can fly the helicopter.
I mean, this is how to get her off the ground. I guess we'll figure it out, right?
Now the helicopter takes off, and the Russian army just opens fire on this helicopter. And it's already smoking. It's a great sequence because you have there's so much going on here. I gotta go back a little bit.
So many deaths.
So the Russians are firing on. I left that pan in my last co-host Matthew Chernoff. He talked about how the Peter McDonald, the director, likes to pan in. Do you see that? It happens right here. It's a great little just a great little moment where they pan in on the Russian leader opening fire on the helicopter. I just love that sequence. Just a quick little pan in. We see a lot in this film, and it's just fantastically done. So here he is. Give me a weapon. Grabs a weapon. It's like that pan. It's a great shot there. And just opens fire. And everyone's opening fire. And the helicopter's smoking.
Just trying to take that helicopter down.
Now he tells Troutman over. He goes, Troutman over there. And Troutman just opens fire. Now we get real kills from Troutman.
There we go. Troutman loves to kill. He just it's evident. Now you realize why Rambo is the maniac he is, because he learned, send a psychopath. What do they say in Devil Engine Man? Send a psychopath to catch a psychopath. He's the psychopath training the psychopath.
This is one of the funniest sequences. I love this. Great stunt work too, by the way. Again, no CGI. This is a real helicopter in the air. This poor Afghanistan civilians hanging from the helicopter. He's been shot and now he's hanging.
Oh yeah.
Well, first he's just hanging, then he gets shot while he hangs, I think. So he's hanging.
Should be good though.
He should be fine. But this is a great little stunt work here. Check this out. That helicopter is really up in the air there. This is just a great shot. You can tell that Sly in the window there. But here, that's great. Just great stunt work. Yeah. And this guy's hanging. Whoever that guy is, they're really hanging in the air, like right there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a squib. He gets hit in the back with a squib.
Right.
So how do they do the stunt?
I don't know. When I was watching it before, I was like, wow. And then he rolls too, right down the mountain.
Okay, so let's just go watch that again. So this is incredible stunt work. So let's just watch to see how they did the stunt work, because the helicopter's in the air. That's guy really hanging. And then he gets shot and he falls.
Boom.
Like how do they do that stunt? Where do you right here? That's obviously probably a dummy they threw there.
Dummy, right? Mm-hmm.
And then Rambo's like, I'm mad at you for killing a civilian. And so he just splatters the watchtower dudes. What are your thoughts on when the camera gets the blood squibs? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I like that. I like that effect. It really puts you in there.
So here we go. What's going to happen here? Boom. And then Rambo's mad. So he goes, okay, well, I have no choice. There's the blood squibs on the camera lens.
I do like that effect. I always wonder, especially with these older movies, if that was on purpose or it just kind of happened and they were like, all right, it's unavoidable. Close range shot.
Good question. And he takes out the watchtower for good measure with some of the missiles. Okay, so the helicopter is now in distress. It's it's going down. That's a great shot there. Look at that. Look at that helicopter going down. How is it? He has all this armament on him. They're about to crash the helicopter. Why doesn't it explode? How does that work?
And then you start thinking too, is this because it could go either or? Is it that they shot down the helicopter? Or is it that Rambo doesn't know how to fly this helicopter? As he said, he's going to try.
This is 2 for 2. I'm not going to lie to you. 2 for 2. He's flying a helicopter and it hasn't worked out. Actually, he did land the other one, I guess, safely in part 2.
Right. You see Troutman slapping him after they land.
So they've crashed the helicopter. They're telling all the citizens to get out. Why didn't any of the missiles on the wings hit the rocks? How come that doesn't explode? Well, how do missiles explode? I actually don't know. Is it not by impact?
Exploded? And then there's like a delay, right? Because now it does explode. But
because Rambo says so. It's going to blow. Yeah. Rambo knows it's going to blow. Let's watch. And Trauman says, let's get everything we can out of here. And Trauman grabs a rope. I wonder if that will come in handy later.
Like I said, he likes to watch the people die. So he's going to strangle the next person.
Yeah.
It's going to blow. Take what you can.
It's going to blow.
Come on, move it. Go on.
Come on. No, he yells, come on, but there's nobody else in the helicopter. Who's he yelling that to? He says, come on.
The internal Rambo voice that he has a battle with every day.
Now watch Sly/Rambo run. It's hilarious. So this helicopter has, you can hear the helicopter, but just go back. Listen to the helicopter. It's beeping. Like it's almost like there's a countdown explosion.
Right.
Listen.
It's going to blow. Take what you can, guys. Come on, move it.
Still can't get over the fact that he grabs a rope.
Yeah, he grabs the rope. So why the beeping? What's that indicating? Explosion imminent. Watch this. Look, it's a great practical explosion. It really is Sly running, so it looks fantastic. It's behind him. Of course, they can't have anything too big. They don't want to burn the actor. There's missiles and bombs on there. Nothing exploded.
Nothing. Right. They were shooting at it to try to get it to explode, I was assuming, right? Like
yes.
When they were shooting at it. I mean...
We gotta get to the border.
We'll stay here. We know where to go.
Which direction, John? Northeast.
Inshallah.
He's just holding that rope.
So northeast. So they're going to go to the border. Rambo says northeast. Where is that? Northeast. Where's their goal? I don't know.
No idea.
So this is the surviving helicopter. This one here. Now I love how the leader is in like dress uniform almost. This is the I'm not fighting outfit, but right. I'm here to investigate the damage and figure out what's going on.
Jacket. He's almost dressed like Bison from Street Fighter, this guy.
He looks really good, though. This actor just really suits this maniacal Russian look. He just looks badass. He's got the gloves on.
Mm-hmm. Like the way the brim of the hat's covering his eyes, too.
Yeah, it looks good. He's pissed, eh? How do you think Richard Crenna liked the filming of this? He's like, oh, man.
Now he's got to run through the mountains. Sylvester Stallone's in like such better shape. He's running around, probably no problem.
All right, so Richard, we're going to run up one hill. Just one hill.
Yeah, just one hill, I promise. He's got to be older at that point, right, too? He's got to be.
I wonder what his age is. A better podcast would know Richard Crenna's age at this film.
Maybe.
We're not very good.
I would say maybe 60 or so. I mean.
Probably, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, the John, I'm about to have a heart attack, he says.
Yeah, I'm dying.
I got arrested.
Oh, did you see that? Rambo just checked the bleeding of his side there. There's a nice little nod to
Oh, did he? I didn't even know.
Yeah, he did. He just went like, oh, am I still bleeding? No, I'm good. The gunpowder trick really worked.
The old gunpowder trick.
You told us to ignore pain, didn't you?
Another cheesy line.
Is it working? Not really. Don't take it personally. Thanks.
The humor just doesn't land in this movie, though. It just never lands.
It's a true series. They're giving a callback to it makes Billy go puke, to ignore pain, to kill.
Right.
You know, Trout was so proud of his training. God didn't make Rambo. I did. And so Rambo like, hey, remember when he told us to ignore pain? It failed, Troutman. How do you ignore lighting your insides on fire?
Yeah, the guy's burning from the inside out, essentially. He's supposed to be okay with it.
Yeah, another one. Another laugh track moment. I'm gonna have to go through this whole film.
You
Clip
definitely
all the
have to.
moments.
I want to see that.
It's gonna be a bit of work in progress, but every little.
But really, realistically, when you think about it, this is really where the only film they really try to get those laughable moments, right? I mean, 2 and First Blood, they didn't try anything like that, did they?
No, and I think it was the time of films and action films in general. This was the late '80s, so action films were they were kind of what's happened to the Marvel films. Like the Marvel films are turning to disasters now. I think everything kind of runs its course, which is fine. It's normal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Things eventually run their course.
Become a spoof of themselves, basically.
Almost, and I think. Like, remember in the Indiana Jones series, the first 2 were pretty serious in the sense they had light comedy moments, but then the third one was a bit of the romp.
Humor, right?
It was a bit it was well done, but it was more of an action comedy film, and it was done well.
Argue that might be my favorite one, honestly.
It is a lot of fun. It's a fun film. It has action, but it's full of humor. You know, the motorcycle scene with Sean Connery with the umbrella and all that stuff. It's just
Junior.
It's great stuff. It really is. Kind of like everything was reinventing itself with the third film. So I think in Rambo's case, it was that same era of the Lethal Weapons were big at this time.
Right.
Action and comedy.
Put a little levity into it, instead of this guy just constantly brooding and.
Right. Action sequences in this film are very well done.
Oh, definitely.
It would be interesting to re-edit this film and maybe literally take out all the banter. Take out all the jokes,
right.
Just clip the jokes out.
Take out the Rocky IV robot, basically what he did with that.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
A Rambo 3 cut that takes out the quips, because I think it's the quips that we just saw there. Nor pain.
And that's saying they don't land. I feel like to me they don't, like, you're talking about Last Crusade, like the jokes land in that movie and they work. Right. These lines of dialogue are just like you hear the crickets after they say.
Are you trying to tell me Sly's bad at comedy? How dare you? I might have to fire you as co-host before you
said what
started.
I said.
You go on ahead. Let's see if you can find some cover.
These guys are on foot. These helicopters are having a hell of a time trying to find them on foot. I mean, they're flying all over the place.
Every time they're looking for them, they're in the opposite place. When they're looking on the ground, they're in the air and vice versa.
So they found a hole. Lucky them.
Rambo finds the holes.
He loves finding holes. Now he's calmly putting together his bow and arrow. I love it. Compound bowl. He's screwing in the screwdriver. He's tightening the strings to make it more like, look at that. Putting the arrow together.
I always love the shots of him doing this. He has all the time in the world.
Yeah. He's so calm under pressure, man. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, look at this. Okay.
You see his hair first. You just see that like giant hair engulf the mountain as he does that.
We're going to watch it play out in real time. So folks at home, what he's doing, folks, he's putting together his bow and arrow. Now, somehow Rambo knows that by the time the bow and arrow is put together, the helicopter that he hears somewhere in the distance will come over that ridge the very moment he's ready to fire. Now, that's amazing timing. What do you think?
I agree.
So let's watch it play out in real time here.
Ничего не вижу. Спускайся вниз, наконец!
Classic music. He hears it. He doesn't even see the helicopter. He just knows it's coming. Look at this shot here.
Amazing. The timing, though, he gets it to a T. The second they pull around.
Of the that bow, the arrow coming off the bow is amazing. It kind of wobbles. It's hilarious. That's a great shot. Right here's a great shot
right
too. Like,
there. Oh man.
Look at this. Hello.
Surprise.
I love how this guy's looking down. What is he looking at, his cell phone or something? He's looking down.
Yeah. Distracted. The last thing he sees is that gorgeous mane that Stallone's got.
Yeah, he's not yelling no at the arrow coming his way. He's yelling, "No, that's a terrible haircut. No." Okay, so watch that. I want to get the arrow release. I was trying to see if I could just capture the wobble. That's all. There it is. Look at the wobble.
It's on like a rope, right? They're like pulling it on like a string or something.
This is a fun cut. No, he says. Flash, boom. Yeah, another great explosion in the sky. I wonder how they did that one in the sky. That's a pretty good little explosion in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And Trout was like, damn, that Rambo's good. I trained him well. He took out a helicopter. How did he do it? How did my boy do it? All right. So the Russian leader's like, oh, man, my guy's gone. Troutman yells, John, let's go down the hole. The Russian leader is, sees him go down the hole like gophers. And he's like, I got a treat for you. And just watch how Troutman goes down, how fast he jumps down that hole. Like if you were to jump down the hole with just holding onto a rope, you're just falling.
I would have broke everything. Like I would have gotten the bottom, my ankles would have broken.
Watch how fast Troutman jumps down. Like there's no way the velocity he would have been like, whee!
You should add that sound effect.
Well, I just did. Me. And now Rambo's going to follow suit. It's just a rope tied to. I don't even know what Troutman
that rope.
Tied
He
rope.
knew he had the knowledge that he would need that rope for something, right?
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now Rambo's going to grab the rope too, and the bomb will be dropped. Let's check it out.
Oh no! Here we go.
Yeah.
That was close, John. How are you? Well done.
How many takes did they do with that where he tried different things? Medium rare.
I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot. Oh, wait,
Yeah,
that was. I feel like an Italian sausage.
I feel like a Whopper.
Oh man, good stuff. Good,
man.
good stuff, man. Fantastic. Yeah, man, that was a fun little action sequence there. Of course, for our listeners at home, the bomb was dropped. It spilled like this, almost like a liquid type flame.
Rambo
Is that a real
running
type
through
bomb?
the flames. I don't know.
But it's a great special effects of the. Actually, I kind of wanted to pause it. I'm going to mute it here, but I just want to go back just a bit to see the flame. Like when the rope is on fire, it looks really kind of cool. This now, granted, there's no CGI back then, so they had a tougher time to do this. That shot right there, it's just kind of cool. You see, this is a fun little because the flames actually melt the rope. That's why he falls.
Right. I wonder how they shot that too, honestly, because that might have been.
That's pretty cool. So probably they added the flame overlapping, and then they just had Sly
swing
just
down
lying
a rope.
on an airbag or something.
Right. Makes sense.
So that's pretty cool. Right there, the rope breaks because of the flame, and then Rambo, whee!
And then
John, it's like John, you might want to keep rolling. The fire's coming. If it wasn't for Troutman to yell, John,
you would have just stopped there.
Do you see that, Troutman? I almost go.
I did a better landing than you.
Oh, I love the running of Sly. It's hilarious. Kind of ducks under this flame here. Ducks.
Boom. That's pretty close. That's got to be pretty close to him too. Those shots. I mean,
well, that was a fantastic episode, folks. I almost want to keep going because I know the next sequence is fantastic with the big Russian guy.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I know, but there's too much, or else our episodes will be like 2 hours long. Okay. Well, that was fantastic. Dom, why don't you plug your Movie Thoughts podcast?
Yes, check me out. Movie Thoughts. It's on Spotify, iTunes. I'm trying to put it in some more places too. It's all over, but I do some new movies, some old movies, and weekly episodes. So
awesome. And anyone that's listening to this on the Last of the Action Heroes Podcast Network feed, check out Dom's podcast. Also, his action-related shows will be on the feed anyway. So if you're only interested in action films, they'll be on the feed. Like so far, we have Movie Thoughts episodes of They Live and Samaritan. I'm torn which one to put on next from your feed. I'm thinking either the Creed 3 review or the Rocky 5, I think will be.
Oh, yeah. Rocky 5. Love Rocky 5, man.
Yeah, so we'll get those on there. They're coming. Stand by, folks. They're coming. If you can't wait, just go to his feed and you can listen to them before they come onto the Last of the Action Heroes podcast feed.
Thank you.
And you did the John Wick 4 as well. See, that's what I mean. You guys... And I can't listen to that one yet, though. I'm not allowed to. So I haven't seen the film. Yeah. Like I said, you get. That's the great thing about your podcast, dude. You're like on top of the most recent reviews, so it's good stuff.
Yeah, I try. I live in the movie theater, basically.
Well, that's it, Dom. The episode is over.
I didn't ask you. You asked me. Nothing is over. Nothing. You can't just turn it off.